So can anybody tell me what this is? Somebody there said it. Redneck smoke detector. That's a redneck smoke detector, and I want you to know that as a former firefighter, I can tell you that this is not a very good smoke detector. And in all seriousness, when you go home tonight, it would be nice if everybody would check their smoke detectors, make sure that you have a working smoke detector. Working smoke detectors save lives.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My name is Rip Esselstyn. I'm a former professional triathlete and a former firefighter for the Austin Fire Department. And for the last 23 years, I have eaten a plant-based diet to fuel me as an athlete, as a firefighter, and as a man. And I cannot tell you over the years how many people have told me that is just way, way, way too insane. That's way too radical. I could never do that. And what I want to talk to you today is about why it's really the standard American diet that is so radical, and why eating a plant-based diet has the potential to be absolutely revolutionary, and why it can revolutionize your health and this whole country's health. If you are eating the standard American diet, you will more than likely die the standard American death and acquire the standard American diseases, okay? Let's talk for a second about why the standard American diet is such an abomination. 63% of America's calories are coming from refined and processed foods that are nothing but empty calories that do nothing to enhance your health and only hurt your health. 63%. 25% are coming from animal-based products. Animal-based products like meat, dairy, eggs, that have all the building blocks that create disease. We have animal fat, we have animal cholesterol, and we have animal protein. And we have 12% that are coming from plant-based foods. Wonderful, wonderful plant-based foods. And believe it or not, half of that 12% is coming from French fries. So really, only 6% of America's calories are coming from fruits, vegetables, whole grains, beans, nuts, and seeds. And so we really are a country that is incredibly plant weak. And it is my mission, it is my goal, it is my crusade to get America to become more plant strong. Okay? Last year, there were five diseases that were responsible for 75% of America's $2.3 trillion healthcare costs. And every one of these diseases is either preventable or reversible by eating a plant-based diet. And the research is irrefutable. It's irrefutable. Heart disease, #1 killer of Americans. This is radical. What is radical is that one out of two of you will die of heart disease. Those are the facts. What is radical is that 50% of the time, the first sign of heart disease is what? Instant death. Instant death. It's true. What is radical? What is radical is that 50 million Americans are taking a statin cholesterol-lowering drug, and the only subgroup that benefits marginally are those people that have had a prior heart attack. For everybody else taking a statin, the benefits are about 1%. Big Pharma has messed with the numbers so much that everybody thinks they're being helped 30, 40, 50%. The reality is 1%. You're just as well off eating a placebo sugar pill. What is radical is that bypass surgery, open heart surgery, where we basically cut our sternum. We take a vein from our leg and we graft it around. We graft it around the blockage. When we put a balloon up in there, it's called an angioplasty, and spread it open. When we put a metal cage in there called a stent, which President Clinton just had another one, and open that up. The thing about these procedures, believe it or not, is they do little to nothing to extend life or protect you from another heart attack. And that is because these types of blockages here, they're stable. They're stable. Believe it or not, 90% of the heart attacks occur when a little juvenile plaque, it's almost like a little pimple on the inside of the artery, it ruptures, a blood clot ensues, and now there's no blood getting to the heart. So all these procedures and all these pills that America are taking are really doing almost nothing to protect us from the #1 killer of Americans. However, the research is absolutely clear that if we decide to play big, and if we decide to go plant strong, we can absolutely eradicate this disease. The #1 killer of Americans, we can eradicate it. And I'm intimately acquainted with the 25 years of research at the Cleveland Clinic where they have shown that you can prevent, halt, and reverse heart disease because that researcher has been my father. So really, you can die with arteries that look as clean as this one. They don't have to get all blocked up. What is radical is that cancer is projected to surpass heart disease as the #1 killer of Americans. What is radical to me is that cancer No, that was good. Is that cancer is a war that we've been fighting since 1972 when Richard Nixon declared war on cancer. And to me, it's almost like we've been pile driving all this money, all this research into trying to find an answer to cancer. You know, we've been walking for the cure. We've been running for the cure. We've been shopping for the cure. We've been flying for the cure. And the thing is, we know what the cure is, right? It's about eating for the cure. If you eat for prevention, you're not going to get the two major cancers that are bringing America down, breast cancer and prostate cancer. And the research is absolutely clear on this. Dr. Dean Ornish at the University of California at San Francisco has shown that you can slow down, stop, and even reverse prostate cancer and breast cancer. And he's also shown that you can actually change your gene expression, that you can turn off cancer-promoting genes and you can turn on cancer-preventing ones. What is radical is that type 2 diabetes, which used to be called adult onset diabetes, has become a pandemic. 1 in 3 children born after the year 2000 will come down with type 2 diabetes. And this is a springboard to heart disease, to amputation, to kidney failure, and a host of other ailments. And once again, this is a disease that never has to occur. Dr. Neil Barnhart out of George Washington University has shown that type 2 diabetes can be reversed by a plant-strong diet. Eat big, go plant-strong. And then, of course, obesity. Everybody knows about the obesity epidemic in America right now. Almost 70% of America is overweight. Almost 34% of America is obese. And this is a tragedy because, once again, this is a springboard to heart disease, to Alzheimer's, major cancers. I joined the Austin Fire Department in 1997, and I was convinced that every shift I'd be making a big old burner like this one here. The reality is, over 80% of our calls, and this isn't just in Austin, this is in San Francisco, this is in Chicago, New York, over 80% of our calls, we are responding to and fighting Western disease. So we get to see up close and front the destruction that is being caused by the fork and the knife, and it is absolutely disheartening. Here is a quick video to show what the average firehouse eats for breakfast.
And eggs.
And eggs. Meat and eggs.
So we got how are we having the eggs today? Sunny side up?
No, I'm going to flip them. I don't know. I guess just fried.
Yeah.
No, that's me.
And then is this just like sausage?
Yes, pork sausage.
Pork sausage.
Take pictures, put that here.
And then what do we got here?
Some croissant rolls, baby.
Croissant rolls. And is this just kind of extra stuff?
I don't know. Somebody made that before I woke up.
Gotcha. All right. And here's their little fun. We got chips. We got oatmeal cream pies. We got
We're gonna be in a book.
granola bars.
Don't ever do this.
Nutty bars. We got Big Texas. It's got to be the Big Texas cinnamon bun. Skittles and Starbursts, M&Ms. We got Oreos and these Orville. This is Butter Lovers popcorn. We got Monster drinks down here, and then what do we got? Oh yeah.
You get the picture. You get the picture, and it gets worse for lunch, and it gets even worse for dinner. And it's probably very similar in every house in America. This is Station 2. It's a hop, skip, and a jump from here. This is where I spent the last 8 years of my career as a firefighter. And we are an island of health in a sea of fast food restaurants. We've got McDonald's, we've got Wendy's, we've got Papa John's, we've got Domino's, we've got Pizza Hut. Right next door, we used to have a Burt's Barbecue. It burned down about 3 years ago, and they still are blaming the vegetarian firehouse for not putting it out. But we were not always an island of health. And what happened is those numbers are a little funny, but what happened is in 2003, we had a bet to see who had the lowest cholesterol. The results came back, and JR's cholesterol was 344 at the age of 33, 344. And so in an act of solidarity to save JR's life, we as a group started eating Plant Strong the very next shift. Within a month, he had his cholesterol rechecked, and it had gone from 344 to 196. We got a flood of media attention. The word got out about what we were doing at Station 2, the charming dissonance of a bunch of Texas male firefighters eating this, plant-based vegetarian diet. And New York Times, NPR, Austin American Statesman. And so I got solicited by literary agents to write a book. And all of a sudden I realized that as a firefighter, not a doctor, not a nutritionist, but as a firefighter, I could reach a segment of America that would never otherwise hear this message about eating more plants. And so I almost felt an obligation to go ahead and write this book and teach people the absolute, undeniable connection between what we put in our mouths and your ability to have a perfect weight, ideal health, and be bulletproof to chronic Western disease. And really, I'm sorry, if you go back. Really, it's all about the food. It's all about the food. It's all about the food, right? Here, for example, red meat, right? Red meat. Just about everybody knows that red meat probably isn't the best thing for them. But how many people know that chicken has just as much cholesterol as red meat? And it also has acidic-producing animal protein. Leaches calcium from the bones, is an incredible tumor and cancer promoter, and inflames the arteries. And what about fish? Everybody thinks that fish is healthy these days, right? Omega-3 fatty acids. In reality, if you get a piece of fish that isn't tainted with mercury and PCPs and dioxins, you still get a piece of flesh, which has the animal protein, the animal cholesterol, and the animal fat. And then eggs. What about eggs? Well, there's only two things wrong with eggs, the yolk and the white, okay? The yolk has over 200 milligrams of dietary cholesterol, and the white is a concentrated form of what? Animal protein. So really, and dairy is just milk, flesh in a liquid cream or solid form. It has all the same amounts of animal protein, animal cholesterol, and animal fat. Now, these foods here, these are the ones that are going to give us back our life, right? The fruits, the vegetables, the whole grains, the beans. They have all the phytochemicals, all the antioxidants, over 100,000 micronutrients that are just jonesing to go to work for you and protect you from heart disease, from diabetes, from obesity, from Alzheimer's, all these diseases. And before I forget, and what about olive oil? It's heart healthy, right? Right? No, it's not. Extracted oils are the most concentrated source of calories on the planet at 120 calories per tablespoon, and they have more empty calories than either white sugar or white flour. All right? And as you'll see here, it's 15% artery clogging saturated fat, and there's absolutely zero nutrients to speak of. And that's olive oil. Okay? Now, the results can be revolutionary when you eat Plant Strong. And these are just some of the results that can revolutionize your health. This individual here, as you can see, 16 pounds in 28 days. Cholesterol dropped 45%, and his LDL, which is the lethal, dropped 55%. This gentleman here looks like he's lost 15 years off his life. He looks 15 years younger. Slide's a little cut off at the top. Pretty amazing what he did. And he also dropped his triglycerides, which is the amount of fat in your blood, by threefold. And then Tim here lost 33 pounds in 28 days. His cholesterol got down to 93, basically the equivalent of a rural Chinese person. And Tim wrote in one of his food logs for dessert, watermelon, and then in parentheses, the whole thing. And the beautiful thing is that by eating foods that are low in calories and high in nutrients, you get to eat all you want, as opposed to foods that are high in calories and low in nutrients. This is one of my heroes, Sir Winston Churchill, and he has a quote that I love, and it goes, "America always gets it right, but only after they've tried everything else." And I think it's fair to say that we as a country have tried everything else, and now it's time to get it right, all right? It's time to play big. We all have skin in this game. We all have skin in this game, and the answer to this healthcare crisis that we have, it's not about a pill, it's not about a procedure, it's not about more legislation, it's not about rejiggering the numbers, it's about everybody stepping up and looking in the mirror and deepening their personal commitment to their health. And we can turn this ship around. We absolutely can. And that right there, that is my TED wish.